39-38 last year in Ohio Stadium, 27-26 here in Beaver Stadium. 2 one-point wins for Ohio State over Penn State the last 2 years. Bill Landis, Doug Lesmeri. Bill, is this it? Is this what we should expect in this rivalry now?
Yeah, I think so. And I think 3 years ago when it was here, Ohio State had the ball down by a touchdown with a chance to win it. Obviously, they didn't win it, but it's 3 years in a row. A team has had a shot to win the game very late in the fourth quarter, and I think this is here to stay. Maybe I think Ohio State is a little more talented than Penn State, and this stadium I think is a little bit of an equalizer. But there's the only other program in the Big Ten that recruits like Ohio State regularly is Penn State. I think that's shown the last 2 years. These are very similarly talented teams. With good coaching, even though I thought Penn State made some crucial coaching mistakes tonight. I think this is here to stay. I think as long as Urban is at Ohio State and James Franklin has this thing running like he has it running here, you're going to see a lot of games decided by a very close margin that are going to have a lasting impact on who wins the Big Ten every year.
You lose a player like Saquon Barkley and you keep it going. That's when you become not a team but a program, right? So I think Penn State is at that point. This is James Franklin's fifth year. He's 1-4 against Ohio State. Those 4 losses, 1 point, overtime. And then in 15, they got blown out by a really good 15 team. I don't think it's going away, but we talked to one of our Penn Live friends after the game who was talking about James Franklin saying he's very frustrated like this because he feels like this shows that Penn State is not elite. Ohio State's elite. He said Penn State's gone from like okay to good to great, but they're not elite. There's something to, there's a lot of cliches that I don't buy into. I buy into a little bit knowing how to win. I think there's something to that. We've talked about that with Ohio State before. There is a reason that late in games they find a way to do this. So I thought Ohio State was going to lose tonight, but it feels like Penn State, although they did it with the block kick in 2016, Penn State, I think that's where it feels like they're a step short of Ohio State right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think part of it is the players, because Ohio State has a lot of 5-star talent, and Penn State has some, but not as much as Ohio State. But I think I mostly look at James Franklin. I think there were legitimate questions about him before Penn State won here in 2016, and probably more after this game about just sort of how he handles the game. I don't think it's a question of talent. I don't know the inner workings of this program and how everything's going on, but they have good players, and I think James Franklin and his staff are the ones that maybe need to rise to the occasion a little bit to match what Urban Meyer and his staff have instilled in Ohio State's players that puts them in a position where they usually come out on top in games like this.
He's Bill, I'm Doug. Much more coming from this instant classic. Don't like that phrase. That's a cliche I don't like, but people are going to say it. Great game here at Beaver Stadium. Ohio State prevails. We'll talk to you later at cleveland.com.